Okay, this next question comes from Eric, and Eric says, how do I manage employees so they follow rules established by the company? Background is, in the past, we have experienced solicitation of other work, like side work, showing up late, misinforming the client, incomplete work, etc. What are examples of writing an agreement for our team members that explain our boundaries and expectations of the position applied for? We don't want to feel like we're just telling them, don't do this and you can't do that. We would like to be positive about these expectations and also careful with what we say from an HR perspective. Okay, so one of the ways that you can do this, Eric, is to put together a good employee handbook. And then also have a good onboarding training system. Think about this. What types of employees come to work at McDonald's? If you watch the movie The Founder, what kind of employees are they hiring mostly? High school kids. They're not the most experienced. They don't have a lot of, strategic thinking or anything like that. But McDonald's has put together such a good onboarding and training system with processes and continual oversight of the job that there's no way that even a high school kid can fail. And if they do, then they refer them to the processes and the training manual, and they let them know that they're messing up. If they continue to mess up, they bring them into the office from an HR perspective, and they give them a verbal warning. They put it in their employee file. If they mess up again, they give them a written warning. They keep following the process for 2 or 3 warnings until they ultimately terminate the position. So it's the same way. In each and every role in which you hire somebody, it's our job as leaders to give all the information that's needed for the person to succeed in their job. We want to hire them based on their ability to perform the role, and then we want to hire them based on their culture fit. Do they fit the culture of the company? And then monitor them. There's a saying, and this will be a good one for you because you're in the rat exclusion business, but when the cat is away, the mice will play. This is the nature of almost all employees. When left to their own accord, lots of employees will goof off and not do work, and they will cut corners. There's only a handful of people in our companies that are going to be A players that always overexceed and kick butt. And those are the people that we want to continue to try and find. Whenever we get a D or F player, we want to just terminate them because they're going to be cancer in our business. C, we need to determine if they can be trained up to a B, and then an A is just an A. But this all has to do with having a good employee handbook. So for instance, you have to be here at 8 o'clock. You get a lunchtime at 11:30 to 12:30. And then your day ends at 5 o'clock. If they show up at 8:05, you have to determine what your culture is. If you want people to be there at 8 o'clock and you want to enforce it, then you have to give them a verbal warning and pull them in the office and put it in their employee handbook immediately. Set the tone. If somebody does that really soon after being hired, it's probably them not fitting the culture. If it happens every now and then and it's not a big deal and the person overexceeds and they work through lunch or they stay after hours, it's your prerogative on whether or not you want to bend and be flexible. The new movement with the way workers are these days is they're becoming more project oriented as opposed to more like working on the line at a auto factory. It's like show up at 8, do this production, leave at 5. These days, people want to be like, hey, as long as I get the job done, the production done, let me be a little bit more flexible with coming in and leaving at a certain time. And that might be something that works for the vibe of your company or maybe not. But ask yourself, is it that they're not doing exactly what you want them to do and the job is suffering, or is it okay that you can be a little flexible because the job is still getting done? If we can learn how to measure the productivity and the output of our team members, as long as the output is there, that's the most important thing, right? Depending on the culture that you're trying to create. So to answer your question, handbook, The first week, you would want to have a great training program. Then you'd want to shadow them and make sure that they know exactly what they're doing. You'd want to watch for all those little areas that they might be trying to cut the corners and talk to them about it. And then you want to continue to have your daily huddles, your weekly meetings, your monthly meetings, and your quarterly meetings where you reinforce the culture and keep the communication going. Okay? Hope that helps, Eric, man. Thanks.